Mitzvos, mitzvos, and more magnificent mitzvos. Welcome to Parshas Ki Seitzei, the 49th Parsha of the Torah.
Mitzvos, mitzvos, and more mitzvos.
All kinds of mitzvahs.
That certainly sums up Parshas Ki Seitzei. In fact, this week's Parsha has more mitzvos than any other Parsha in the whole Torah. A grand total of 74 mitzvos, 27 to-do mitzvos,
Mitzvos aseh,
and 47 not-to-do mitzvos.
mitzvos los aseh.
Now take out your trusty calculator and calculate 613 divided by 74.
613 mitzvos of the Torah divided by 74 mitzvos of Parshas Ki Seitzei,
Which equals a bit over 12% of all the mitzvahs of the Torah.
This whole thing's incredible.
So if you think that Mishneh Torah, also known as the Book of Devarim, is merely a review of the previous 4 books,
Bereshit, Shemos, Vayikra, and Bamidbar,
then think again. There are plenty of new mitzvos in the Book of Devarim, and there is no better parsha than Ki Seitzei to prove it.
Get ready to learn about every single one of these 74 mitzvos. Just joking.
We'll give you a taste of a few of them and hope that you'll enjoy learning about them.
so much that you'll open a chumash yourself and learn all about the other mitzvos not mentioned in this week's Shazak Parsha.
Double letters and double portions. Moshe now talks about the laws of inheritance. One special law is that a firstborn son receives a double portion.
Twice the amount the other children receive.
Here's a fascinating letter play.
Of all 22 letters of the Aleph base, there are only 3 letters that have a number value double the letter before it.
Base
2,
is double Aleph.
1,
Chaf
20,
is double Yud.
10,
Reish
200,
is double Kuf.
100.
Put these 3 letters together.
Beis Chaf Reish.
And you get Bechar, meaning firstborn.
It's the law of the firstborn inherits double.
Ben Sorer Umora, the rebellious son. It's one of a parent's greatest fears. Despite doing their best to raise good children, things could go wrong, and a child might act in not very nice ways. The Torah teaches us of a very extreme case.
So extreme that it never happened in real life.
It's called Ben Sorer Umore, the rebellious son. Within 3 months after his bar mitzvah, this stubborn, rebellious son turns away from the path of Torah.
He starts stealing money from his parents.
With the stolen money, he buys supersized portions of meat and fine wine.
Yummy! Let's see how much steak and lamb chops I can stuff down my throat. And the wine is great. Waiter, another bottle of wine. Hurry up.
Hey, where are your manners?
People would scold him.
The meat and wine may be kosher, but the way you are acting is definitely not kosher.
But this rebellious son was living up to his title, rebellious!
Oh no! Hey, where are your manners? Telling me what to do? And who do you think you are anyway?
Meanwhile, things went from bad to worse.
Please, please, stop what you are doing. It is time for you to get back on the right track. If not, you will suffer the consequences.
Despite the warnings, he ignores them.
This situation got even worse.
So bad that neighbors, friends, or relatives decided to confront the parents.
If you don't act now, things will only get worse. Today it's a lack of manners, but who knows what tomorrow will bring.
Yes, and do you realize where your son got his money from? He held up my store and stole all the money in the cash register.
Take him to Besdin. Yes, the Jewish court of law.
I guess we must take him now before things get totally out of control.
Having no choice, the parents brought their son to the judges of the base den.
And the verdict. Whip him!
Ouch!
Of course it hurts, but the judges punished the boy in order to warn him of the seriousness of his mistake.
But even that doesn't do the trick.
When he leaves, he goes right back to his old mischief, stealing money and gobbling down meat and wine.
Oy vey, where will it all end?
His parents worry.
What kind of future will our son have? Now they bring him to a bigger Bezdin.
One with 23 judges, and there, after careful deliberation, and if the judge concludes,
At this point of time, he is merely a wild young man doing annoying things. But we have every reason to believe that he will one day grow up to be a robber and a vicious murderer.
if there is such a case,
Which there never was, and never will be.
this rebellious son
Ben Sora Mora.
will receive the verdict.
A very harsh one.
The death penalty.
Lost.
Found.
Checked.
Returned.
Mitzvah! Moshe continued with another mitzvah. You may be walking along and notice a lost item or animal. It would be a lot easier to pretend you never saw it and keep on going, or even worse, to keep it for yourself. Do not do this. Make sure to return all lost objects to their rightful owners.
Indeed, Hashavas Aveda
Returning lost objects.
is an important mitzvah.
So important that in many schools, it is the first topic traditionally taught to young students beginning to study the Talmud.
Also known as Gemara.
Okay, dear students, open up your Gemara Bava Metzia. We're going to start from the second chapter. It's called Elam Metzius, and it's all about lost and found.
It's a fact. A very sad one.
People lose things all the time, and often cannot function until they find them.
Imagine losing a passport or phone while in a foreign country.
Ouch!
How about missing your car keys?
Or losing a wallet.
How about losing a lot of weight? Just kidding.
To understand this lost and found mitzvah,
It's time for a Shazak scenario.
Faggy found a Bagstein, strolls through the park, and notices a beautiful brown leather briefcase lying on the grass by a bench.
Hey, I found a briefcase.
Exclaimed Faggy found a Bagstein.
I always wanted such a briefcase. It's the perfect size, and it has a side pocket, perfect for my headphones.
Faggy examines the briefcase and notices an identification tag. Then she looks up and sees someone frantically running around searching for something.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Faggy calls out as she runs after the lady.
Did you happen to lose something?
The frantic lady looks at Faggy and says,
Well, what do you know? I did lose my briefcase, and it's the one you're holding.
Well, not so fast. I need a siman, a sign that it really belongs to you. Tell me, what is your name?
Sipitza Fleigen,
And your address?
613 Shazak Drive.
Faggy thought,
Hey, it's possible that this woman, whatever her name might be, saw the ID tag. Who knows if she is the rightful owner?
so after some quick thinking, Faggy said,
Now, just to be sure, show me your picture ID.
Zippy quickly takes out her driver's license and shows it to Faggy.
It matches! Here you go, it's all yours. And by the way, your license is expiring next month. You better get it renewed.
With just a little effort, Faggy has performed a big mitzvah and made one person a very happy woman.
Yes, a very happy woman.
so there you have it.
Lost.
Found.
Checked.
Returned.
Mitzvah! Hooray! Hashavas Aveda!
The lost and found mitzvah.
Support your local donkey. Imagine living in Eretz Yisrael long ago, when it was common for people to travel with animals. They would load their suitcases, bags, or heavy merchandise onto the back of a donkey and start their journey.
Naturally, the poor donkey would often get pretty tired and achy under all those heavy bags.
Now imagine you see a man riding a donkey that's carrying a heavy load, and he is talking to his trusty donkey.
Oh, my goodness. By the look in your eyes, I can see you are, oh no, about to collapse. Oy vey.
I sure am about to collapse. Help!
The donkey would have said if he could talk like Bilam's donkey.
And then it happened.
The dear old donkey fell to the ground.
Ouch! What a disaster! Things break, merchandise all over the place.
And before you know it, the donkey is totally out of control.
It will take a minor miracle to get it back on the road.
And let's not forget its terrible pain.
So Moshe Rabbeinu says, do not ignore your fellow's donkey or ox when they are about to fall under their heavy load. Help them unload. Every second counts. Indeed, it's a perfect opportunity to perform a great mitzvah. By helping a fellow Jew unburden his animal, you are being kind to the person and to the animal as well. In modern times, where cars and trucks have replaced oxen or donkeys, we can still lend a hand.
Sharing someone's burden is always a mitzvah.
Whether it's helping your guests bringing in their luggage to the house, or carrying your teacher's heavy bags of books.
What a good idea.
Bye-bye, birdie.
So far, we covered a lot of mitzvos.
What a variety!
Here's another one.
And it's called Shiluach HaKain.
Also pronounced Shiluach HaKan.
Sending a mother bird away from her nest. Our sages call this mitzvah a very easy mitzvah.
Unless you aren't good at climbing trees.
Here's what it's all about.
A mother bird is sitting on her nest caring for her eggs or her little birds.
Think of how sad she would be if someone came along and took one of her eggs or her babies right out from under her beak.
So if someone wakes up one day and takes his morning walk and looks up and notices a mother bird on her nest,
Oh, I think I'll climb up there and take the baby bird. But first, the Torah says I must shoo away the mother, and that's exactly what I will do.
then it's time for him to climb up the tree and send away the mother bird. Once he is sure the mother bird is long gone, only then is he allowed to take the baby bird.
That's it! An easy mitzvah and one with a big reward.
In the words of Moshe Rabbeinu,
If the mother bird is sitting upon her young birds or eggs, send away the mother, and only then may you take the young for yourself, in order that it should be good for you, and you should live a very long life. Safety first. In many factories throughout the world, there is an electronic sign displaying the amount of accident-free days in their factory.
They are super proud when the numbers get really high.
Such as 2,562 days without an accident.
It certainly takes a lot of effort and planning to create a work-safe environment.
Yes, indeed.
Perhaps some inspiration for these safety precautions came from our Torah, especially from Moshe's words here in Parshas Ki Seitzei.
When you build a new house, be careful, Moshe said. Build a guardrail for your roof, so that you shall not cause any harm to those who may fall from it. This mitzvah shows how important it is to take safety very seriously.
But safety is not only at factories.
It's also in homes, especially in a house with small children.
Whether it's a window guardrail,
which prevents little kids from falling out the window, Mama, and big robbers from coming in.
In pursuit of suspect west on Hall Road.
Or it's a medicine bottle with a cap that only adults could open.
Safety is super important.
Yes.
Unfair pair. From people ouch prevention to animal ouch prevention.
Never heard of ouch prevention?
That's because we just invented it.
Here at Shazak.
Moshe Rabbeinu announced.
Do not plow your fields using an ox and a donkey together. When a farmer is plowing his field, he may use 2 oxen, or 2 donkeys, or 2 mules, or 2 horses, but should never plow with a mixture, such as an ox and a donkey together, or a horse and a mule together.
So, if any mixture is forbidden, why does the Torah single out a mixture of an ox and a donkey?
That's a great question.
The Torah does not tell us the reason.
But the all-time great Torah commentaries have some wonderful and interesting ideas.
You certainly have my attention.
The Chizkuni
Rabbi Chizkiah ben Manoach, 13th century France,
writes that it's because a kosher animal chews its cud, and a non-kosher animal does not. Now imagine an ox,
A kosher animal,
and a donkey
a non-kosher animal,
plowing together, and the ox is chewing its cud, as it always does.
chew, 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 chomp, chomp, chomp. It seems that the ox is eating non-stop.
Meanwhile, the donkey, who never chews its cud,
No,
Chew, chew, chew,
and no.
chomp, chomp, chomp.
will feel sad, jealous, and even pained.
What's gonna be?
The donkey thinks the ox has plenty of food to eat, while he doesn't have any food.
what a great lesson! Our Torah teaches us how extremely careful and sensitive we must be to everyone,
Even to our animals.
even to an animal such as a donkey.
Fascinating.
Another reason comes from a Spanish-French scholar, Rabbi Avraham ibn Ezra,
1089 to 1167,
who authored a famous commentary on the Chumash, known as Ibn Ezra.
often pronounced Evan Ezra.
According to him, it has to do with the strength of the animals.
Have you ever heard of the expression strong as an ox?
I sure did.
Well, an ox is a lot stronger than a donkey.
So if you have an ox and a donkey pulling one plow, things are likely to get unbalanced and very painful for both animals.
Help! Help! Is there a doctor in the house?
Never forget Amalek!
Amalek.
The name itself is frightening. It reminds us of a cold-blooded nation ready to destroy, annihilate, and completely wipe out Hashem's holy nation, B'nai Yisrael.
Amalek.
Amalek and all of his evil descendants.
Such as the horrible, hot-headed Haman, villain of the Purim story.
He tried with all his might to get rid of B'nai Yisrael.
He's a very bad man. Very bad man.
Pure evil.
Instead, the evil Haman was kaput. Finito. Finished. The end of him.
And we gained a wonderful holiday called Purim.
And let's not forget the Queen of Persia book and animated movie.
I forget nothing.
Now back to our Parsha.
In Parshas Ki Seitzei, we learned all about being kind to all living beings, humans and even animals. But the evil Amalek is an exception. No kindness for them. Moshe said, Zachor! Remember what Amalek did to you on your way out of Egypt when you were tired, thirsty, and exhausted. Remember how Amalek fought us. Never forget this. Indeed, this battle happened right after the most dramatic moment in all of Jewish history, Kriyas Yamsuf, the splitting of the Sea of Reeds, and B'nai Yisrael walking between the water on dry land. Then the walls of water crashed down and drowned the Egyptians who had been chasing after the Jews.
It was a miracle.
News of this great miracle spread, and all other nations were terrified.
All of them. Except Amalek.
They thought they were more powerful than Hashem. And so, just when B'nai Yisrael were at their weakest point, hot and thirsty from the blazing desert sun, Amalek sneaked up from behind and attacked them.
So, Moshe told B'nai Yisrael that they should never forget what Amalek did, and commanded his people to totally wipe them out.
Stay tuned.
Next week in Parshas Ki Seitzei,
The Jewish people will learn all about the mitzvah of bringing their first fruits to the Beis HaMikdash, called Bikurim.
We'll also find out about 2 special mountains in Eretz Yisrael.
a set of wonderful blessings will be announced on Mount Gerizim,
Marvelous.
and a set of awful curses on Mount Avel. Not so marvelous.
Tune in next week for another exciting episode of Shazak Parsha.